This is Suburban On Air and Cohen in the City. Here is Mike
What
Cohen.
would you be prepared to do if you had one more chance? Everything all right here?
Yeah.
We got a call about a disturbance.
I just asked him to separate, and he wasn't hearing me.
He didn't threaten her, he didn't touch her, and Mrs. Whitman is not pressing any charges, so...
Are you sure? Is everything okay?
No.
What happened?
I told you it was dangerous! Why didn't you stop him?
Welcome to Plan B Agency. Using the keypad, select your desired destination. State the reason for your trip.
To stop a triple murder.
All right, season 2 of CBC's anthology drama Plan B is returning on Sunday, August 11th on CBC Gem. Features an all-new cast and an enthralling new storyline that delves deeper into the concept of second chances and the consequences of altering one's fate. I'm a massive fan of Plan B. I watched season 1 with Patrick J. Adams, and now I've already seen the first 2 episodes of season 2, and I'm so privileged to have with me today Vanessa Antoine, who is the star of the show, plays a tough Montreal police officer, and the executive producers and many other titles, Jean-Francois Asselin and Louis Morissette. So congratulations on an amazing program. Thanks for joining me. And first, Jean-Francois, I guess I'll start with you and I'll ask you, for season 1 with Patrick J. Adams, known from the show Suits, you really left us hanging in that finale, a real cliffhanger. And I must say, I did not know, I had not watched the French series. I didn't realize that it's basically a one-off. It's a season 1. After it's over, you start a whole new season. So was there ever a thought of continuing season 1 and letting us know what happened? Because that last minute of that show said, oh my gosh, I got to see what's going to happen. And I'll never know.
No, never. And it's a trademark of the Plan B series. You're going to see in that season that we are kind of a cliffhanger. We like open ending, so the viewer can continue to reflect on what could happen to the character. So that was the intent. And then we talk a lot in the French version and in the English version about that famous ending scene in season 1.
Now, Louis, you know about that ending scene because you played the role in French that Patrick J. Adams played. So you were that character, a very interesting character. Started off very nice, ended up not so nice. So it's interesting, the concept of the series, that you do the French version and then you redo the version in English. And how difficult is that in terms of casting, because it's a different audience?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that this is difficult. Yeah, this is a different audience. We have to adapt different things, but it's really, it comes with it's a chance, I would say, to have like this French version, which is kind of a pilot, where we have our second chance to do it again, hopefully better, and work on things that we could do differently and bring it to another level in an English version that will go around the world, hopefully. So no, it doesn't come as a challenge as much as a chance, I think.
Vanessa, you're from Toronto area?
Yes.
And what did you know about this series before you were cast, before you auditioned?
I got the audition, and then I was fascinated with the script. So I was like, I wanted to read the script, and I didn't have the script. I just had the sides. So I scoured and I asked my agents, and they said they only have it in the French version. And my French is, getting slightly better over the last year. But before that, I was, I didn't really know anything. So I took the French version and put it into an English kind of translator. It was okay. And I read it in English. And then I just became kind of like slightly obsessed with it. And I was like, is there anything else I can see? Is there anything I can watch? And then my team sent me the French version, the whole 6 episodes. And I was like, okay, I'll watch the pilot since I read the pilot. And my partner and I were in bed and we watched the pilot. And then, like, 6 hours later, with red eyes
Oh
and like
my.
dark circles under our eyes, we're like
Yeah.
6 a.m, like, oh my God, this is so good. We have to watch another episode.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, and that's the good thing about being on CBC Gem, that people could binge watch it when it debuts, and they can wait until the fall as well to watch it on the traditional way on CBC television. Vanessa, you play a Montreal police officer, Mia Coleman. What type of training did you get to play a Montreal police officer? Because there's probably a lot to learn. I mean, you look like the real thing on that show with the police cars and the guns and everything else.
Well, thank you. I mean, we did some training before. I really wanted to do, like, do a deep dive. I've never played a cop before. I was, nervous about doing that because I was like, am I going to be believable in this? Like, and so, Jean-Francois suggested maybe I'll do some training with another police officer. He's amazing. We did some gun training, and because in the English version, Mia is a Black woman and I'm a Black woman, and being that I believe that being a police officer, particularly in the Black community, has a slightly different I would say response from the community. I wanted to get a perspective of a Black female cop, so I ended up meeting with a Black cop for a little bit, and we chatted about what that's about.
Jean-Francois, what type of work do you have to do well in advance when you're doing a show like this? I know I used to see Station 19, the TV show about the police station. That was also a French series. I don't believe either of you were involved with that. Were you? In
No.
Okay, so what kind of involvement do you have to have with the Montreal police? I mean, you're using basically their cars, their uniforms. They may be a slight change, but it looks like the real thing to me.
Yeah, there's the slight change, but as a writer, each time, because Plan B is a sci-fi show, but we want everything to be so realistic. So as writer, we do a lot of research. In the case of that season, we had some cop consultant. We have a lot of psychotherapists and a lot of people involved with violent men and involved with abused women. So we had to do a lot of research on that part to be sure that everything we were telling was close to the truth. We know it's a fiction, but we want to have solid base. So when we talk about things and we treat a serious matter, in that case it's a violence. So we want to make sure we were right about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
We had when we start to write it, it was not a big subject, but when we in the middle of the writing in French, the family, how you say that, the familicide, there was a lot of men killing family and become a big
femicide.
Femicide,
yes.
and it became a big theme and a big question that society has to ask themselves: why there's so many men killing their family? And as a man, I was really intrigued by that and moved by that. So we did a lot of research on that to make sure we were okay about it. And when we adapt it, because things move so fast nowadays, that we still adjust some stuff.
Again, I said before, I'm a big time travel fan. Wish I could do it in real life in so many ways, and kind of fantasize when I watch these shows. Louis, you and Jean-Francois and your team, how did you come up with this concept? It's quite unique. I mean, the first season, Patrick J. Adams' character was in the Montreal pool room where he found out about Plan B, and in season 2, Vanessa's character finds the cell phone of a dead person, and basically finds out about plan B through there, not realizing the capabilities, but basically you call in this number, a recording, you give your credit card, and you're able to travel back in time to where you want to redo the past. Where did this concept come from, Louis? This idea?
That's a good question. I mean, it's been so many years now, Jean-François. You can step in anytime you want, but it's almost 15 years down the road now, Jean-François, I think.
Is it really?
Yeah, we
Yes.
began to work on this series, and at first, it took us 7 or 8 years to have someone on board in Quebec just to do the first French season.
Okay.
People were afraid that it was too complicated, that people wouldn't follow, and it was pretty hard to read, as if I can say. I mean, you needed a little vision because those back in time travel, in time. When you read it, you have to be really concentrated, otherwise you're lost. So people were kind of lost at first. So it took us many, many, many years. And from the first idea of a plan B, because I think it all started with a title, Jean-François, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, we like a project that had been pitched to me. Project wasn't really good, but I liked the title. Then I met Jean-François and Jacques. We began to work, and from that point on, Jean-François and Jacques Drolet took the idea and the project so way. They took it so further, and they did a really great job writing that thing. But from season 1 to season 2, up to almost season 5 in French. Hopefully season 5 in French. It's been a journey that's been surprising, has been joyful, it's the most important project that I've been working on as a producer and actor. I mean, so I think we're the first surprised about where this project is taking us. Jean-François, I don't know if you
Yes. But what I can say is that I think we are on the same page on that. I'm not a big fan of sci-fi when the sci-fi aspect is the main thing, but I'm really interested in concept that people can relate to. So me, I'm a big fan of Back to the Future and all that stuff, but I like, and I think what worked with Plan B is people can relate to the show, even though you don't have a travel machine at the time. You can ask yourself, if I could go back in time, what I could change. And I think I think that's the key of the success of Plan B, is when we decide to treat it realistically. And then for us, the machine and all this stuff, we were like in brainstorm, what can take the less time on the screen. And we can understand that the guys go back in time, and we find that machine. You call a dial machine, and 2 guys come at the door, they pitch you in a white van, the white van go backward,
and they back up, and everything happens. Yeah, exactly.
And
we started so many years ago that it was yellow pages at first.
I bet. We have to wrap up. I just want to ask one last question to Vanessa. A shout out to Larry Day, one of my favorite character actors. He was a great superior to you in the show, I believe. The first 2 episodes, he knocks it out of the park, Larry.
Absolutely. He's so good. He's such a, he's a seasoned pro,
He is.
And he's such a sweetheart.
Great choice, Jean-François and Louis, on your casting. I'm going to urge all the viewers here to watch this amazing series. Thank you each for joining me. Best of luck. And I can't wait to see the cliffhanger in episode 6.
Yes. And there's no going to be anything after. That's going to be.
I understand. I just hope there'll be a season 3 in English. Fingers crossed.
Yes. That's so.
Plan B, debuting Sunday, August 11th on CBC Gem. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.